Good afternoon, students. So let's continue from where we stopped. We're looking at study 3, system development methodology. How do we develop a system? What are the methods that we use to develop system? That is what system development methodology is all about. So in this particular session, you should understand the technologies, the methodologies used to develop systems, and the tools for that is rapid application development. Now, system development technology is a standard process followed in an organization to conduct all the steps necessary to analyze, design, implement, and maintain information systems. So it's a formalized approach of developing a system. Now, you would have heard of system development cycle, life cycle, that provides the guidelines for the development of a system. So everything works hand in hand together. Now, there are examples of such methodology. One of them is waterfall methodology, which we still be looking at. So now, if you look at waterfall, this is it. This is what it looks like. You can see the diagram. Phase 1 is system planning. Phase 2, system analysis. Phase 3, system design. Phase 4, system implementation. And phase 5 is the system operation and support. So this is the phases of a system development life cycle. So you don't need to include system in the front of all those things. It's not compulsory. You can just know planning, analysis, design, implementation, and support. So that is what happens in the system development life cycle. Now, we can group the methodologies into structural design and RAD, which is rapid application development. Structural design methodologies adopt a formal step-by-step approach from one phase to the next, as we see in the system development life cycle. So their own is formal. However, among the formals that we have is the structured methodology. We have the waterfall development. We have the parallel development. Waterfall development is the original structured system design and development methodology that was mentioned in the above figure. So it goes, the phases flows downward from up to down. That's why I call it waterfall. And the parallel development attempts to address the problem of long delays along between the analysis phase and the delivery of the system. This is parallel. See the way it is. You can see that it's different from the waterfall model, the waterfall development model. You can see that this is parallel, trying to solve two things simultaneously within the analysis stage and the design stage. Okay, so then we have the third one under structured design methodology, which is spiral. That one is a form of a cycle. The spiral model is an iterative model for software development that was described by Barry Boehm, and it has a way of addressing the weaknesses of the waterfall model, and it has the following series of cycles and rounds, such as concept of operation, system requirement, and all. See the diagram of the spiral model. You can see that it's a form of a circle. Then it keeps going on and on till it reaches from plan to analyze to specify to design to develop, implement, test, then operate. So if you develop a system, you have to plan the development, you have to analyze, then you have to design, you have to implement to see that it works. And so these are the methods by which a system is being developed. Number 4, the model of structured methodology is the iterative model, which shows the activity of phases from planning to the point of operation and support. This is diagram for iterative model. Then we come to RAD, which is the second aspect, broad aspect of the methodology. We've talked about structured methodology, then we have the rapid application development. This refers to development lifecycle designed to give much faster development and higher quality system than the traditional lifecycle. So because you can see here from the word rapid, it means the design will be much faster in development and it will still give quality systems. So RAD is people-centered and it gives high quality at a very low cost. The approach in rapid application development is to build systems that combine computer-assisted software engineering tools, that is case tools and techniques, user-driven prototyping, stringent project delivery time limits, so to a potent, tested, reliable formula for top-notch quality and productivity. So RAD is one of the methodologies that is being used in modern days. There are two common methodologies of RAD, and they are the phased development and the prototyping. Phased development methodology breaks the overall system into a series of versions that are developed sequentially. That is from version 1 to version 2 to version 3, step by step, phase by phase. That's what I call it phase development. You can see this is a typical diagram of phase development. It works in phases. Then prototyping performs the analysis, design, and implementation phases concurrently, and all three phases are performed repeatedly in a cycle until the system is completed. Let's see the diagram for that in our diagram here. This is prototyping. You can see from planning, analysis, design, implementation to system prototype, implementation of the system. So these are things that you are supposed to read through, understand, and be familiar with. These are the tools that are used for RAD, rapid application development. We have the JAD, joint application, and the CASE, which is computer-aided software engineering tools. There are two common tools and techniques used for rapid application development. Okay, so I will encourage you to read more on some of this methodology, be familiar with how it works. On study session 4, we'll now focus on system development lifecycle proper. And in this, we expect you to be able to explain what system development lifecycle is, be able to state the 5 phases of system development lifecycle, and the structured system analysis and design method, and why system development lifecycle is often used in developing systems. So, there are 5 major phases in system development lifecycle: planning, analysis, design, implementation, operation, and support. We've talked about them. Just go through this to be able to understand what the phases in this particular life cycle is talking about, from planning to analysis to design to implementation, operation, and the support. So each of these phases have what is expected to be done. At the planning stage, you are expected to identify a project, determine the requirement, then what the system will need, the needed hardware and software required, the system that will be designed and constructed. These are things we do at the planning stage. So we now need to focus on what the planning phase talks about, then what the analysis phase talks about. Each of these has their own unique responsibilities clearly stated in your material for you to understand in-depthly what each phases are to fulfill. So these is things that you are expected to go through, and they are self-explanatory for you to understand. If anything is not clear, we can just drop them in the discussion forum and it will be addressed. And maybe when we have our revision classes, we will also be able to ask questions and clarify some of these things in the class. Okay, so these are some of the things I would expect you to go through in this your material, and ensure that you can see that it's very wide, very broad, and there is no time to be able to go through each of these specific subtopics. But I'm trusting that when you read through them, the questions or whatever that is not clear can be better explained, and as well when we meet for revision we can clarify some of these things. Thank you.